Hello, my lovely Libras. Welcome back. As you know, I'm Sachi the Scorpio, and I'm here to deliver your guided reading for the month of August. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The more energy that you send to me, the more energy that I can send to you. And as you've noticed, you are third in line for the month of August, Libra, because I do my videos in order of whoever gets the most likes from the previous video segment. So if you like this video, the higher likelihood that your next video will be coming out. For anyone new here, welcome. Today we're going to be using the As Below deck for the general energy of what's going on. On this channel, we take a look at the light aspect of things, and that is the lighter karmic lessons of what's going on and what is known to us, what is in the light. We also take a look at the shadow aspect, and those are the darker, deeper, more difficult karmic lessons and what might be hidden from us in the shadow. And we try to bring it to the light, not only to become aware of it, but also so that we can heal it. So for this video segment, I'm going to be focusing on the light and what light energy we need in our life right now, where light is being shed. Of course, we will still look into the shadow aspects, but I'm going to be using 3 decks that I have programmed with light energy, because after Cancer season, with the video segments that I did, you know, tapping into the emotional roots and the eclipse messages with the solstice cycle breaking, we could all use some lights. Those were both 2 video segments that were extremely heavy, right? Necessary for Cancer season. But now we're in Leo season and it's all about the light. It's all about the life too. So Libra, during the cleansing ceremony, I was picking up on a few things. So Pleiades came out, which is double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. So of course, Libra, with your balancing skills, you do have a double mission. Number 1, channeling yourself, channeling that information, because you are like a cosmic mirror to the rest of the world, right? You balance out your external environment internally and act accordingly. That is one of your gifts. And also uplifting humanity. And, you know, like Libras, of course, are great at hyping other people up, because, you know, if someone's doing something good, you know, Libra, as a Libra, you will reflect that energy onto the other person. So of course, you know, that is coming out, especially for Leo season. We also have the 6 of Swords pop up in the cleansing ceremony, the 6 of Swords in reverse. So what I'm getting, it's like an energy that you're letting go of, but like you weren't chasing after a dream, or you weren't going towards the light. But I feel like in August that is going to be changing. You are going to be chasing that dream and going towards the light, right? If you're not already doing it, it will be happening in August. I also had an overwhelming urge to wash my face during the cleansing ceremony. So I don't know if some of you are neglecting your hygiene. Libra, you do rule the skin as your organ, as your ruling organ. So if some of you need to take a little extra care of your face, make sure you do that, especially in Leo season with the hot sun, with sweat. Make sure you are keeping your hygiene in check. And then for the clarifier deck, what popped up in the cleansing ceremony was trainer. So it indicates another person, a trainer using energy retrieval. So I do feel like someone is coming back and they're trying to take energy from you, retrieve energy from you. It might be energy perhaps that you took from them on purpose or not, but I do feel like someone's coming to try to take energy from you. Okay, so let's see for our lovely Libras, what light is happening in August, what light is being shed on our Libras. Align your life. What is not aligned or needs to change? Yeah, so as I mentioned in the cleansing ceremony with the 6 of Swords in reverse, of not chasing the dream, of not going towards the light, I feel like you are realizing that things just, you know, that you weren't going in the way that you wanted to go, and now you are choosing to change things in your life in order to align yourself here. So I think you are definitely understanding what needs to change in your physical environment and spiritual environment. This could really be people. Like I said, that trainer card came out with energy retrieval. You might be noticing that some people no longer align in your life because maybe they just want to take from you. And maybe you're realizing the way that you balance them out isn't always the best, that you always have to compromise yourself in order to make things balanced. So alignment is very much on your mind and in your third eye. Let's see what else is being shed. What light is being shed on Libra for the month of August? We have Sisterhood of the Rose coming out in reverse. Beauty and devotion. Priestess, mystic, and teacher. So it's coming out in reverse again. So I really do feel like there are, you know, the group, the Sisterhood of the Rose, you know, maybe the feminine energies that you have been around, or perhaps the people around that you are devoted to, or how your, you know, your standard of beauty, or perhaps your, you know, quote unquote spiritual family, you know, the ones that are, you know, consider themselves a high priestess or a mystic or a teacher, that you're really distancing yourself from them. You don't want to be part of this group anymore. I really feel like you are detaching towards the people that you usually are around in your life. And it's because you are realizing that you're ascending in a different way and they no longer align with you. Right? You're changing your life so that your environment and the people around you are more aligned with your soul mission, because we did have Pleiades come out with that double mission of, number one, channeling. So you might be channeling a lot of downloads, and two, uplifting humanity. And I feel like with the people that you have surrounded yourself up to this point, you're recognizing that they are aligning with you in order to help you uplift humanity. So it's just kind of like, you know, you're leaving that Sisterhood of the Rose, so to speak. Let's see, what is the advice for Libra? Woo! That came flying out right to the alignment. Imrama, where are you being called to journey to? Yeah, you are being called to leave behind what no longer serves you, especially the people, perhaps your standards of beauty, whoever you're devoted to, maybe even your own spiritual practices that you've been a part of that you're now realizing like, no, this doesn't align with me. And you're being called to go on a journey. So travel could be indicated. Capricorn had that one too. But it could also be more of a spiritual journey rather than actually traveling to a physical location. But it definitely could be traveling to a physical location. We will, you know, obviously take a deeper look and see what is going on. But first we're going to ask about these changes. So what is not aligning and what needs to change here, Libra? Let's take a look. What is not aligning for our lovely Libras? What needs to change here? We have the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. Wow. So this came out for Capricorn too in the exact same placement. I do suggest watching your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, of course, as always. But with the wheel, you are recognizing the continuation of cycles, right? You are cycle breaking and you want to be on a different cycle, on your divine cycle. This wheel is about your life path, right? As you see, there's like a little girl, she becomes the maiden, then becomes the mother, then becomes the crone, right? And then that reincarnation, the recycling of, you know, the atoms and becoming an ancestral spirit and being reborn and all that. You are really getting in touch with the cycles of life. And you are realizing, you know, where you are now in the Wheel of Fortune, in this wheel of life, and where you want to be, right? When you become the crone and you are accepting and embracing, you know, passing to the next realm or whatever, you know, in your reality, what happens next, you know, you're thinking about like, what do I want to think? Like, what brings me peace, you know, for when I am older? And you are starting to look into the future and then backtrack to where you are now and figuring out like, all right, how do I align to my highest self, right? How do I manifest the highest vibrational timeline so that I can become the peaceful, wise crone that welcomes, you know, the next phase of life after death. I started getting a little bit emotional, so I do feel like some of you might have had some loss where you are really considering the concept of life and death and reincarnation and, you know, the circle of life, right? Like, I'm really, really getting some, there was like a wake-up call here is what I'm getting that has made you realize what is aligning and what is not aligning. Let's see more. Let's see more. Show us about what Libra is understanding about this. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, you might realize that you don't like the work that you're doing or whatever you are physically doing, whatever you are putting your, you know, money into, your housing situation, anything tangible that you can put your hands on, right? Because 8 is the cycle. So, you know, this, in this card, it's, you know, she, he, or they, are, you know, making this pot over and over again. Like, yeah, it's a little bit different each time, but it's still the same thing, right? They're throwing a pot over and over again, and that's what they do to make their money, right? That's their hobby that they have made into a career and things like that. So because it's in reverse, there very much is this call to get out of the norm, right? You don't want to be doing the same thing, or you don't want to be working at the same job, or something in your physical environment just really isn't sitting well. You really want to break this cycle because you're done with it and you realize it no longer aligns, because you're thinking way more long term and you're working backwards to try to align yourself of where you are now. What's the light aspect here? What's the light aspect here? Whoop. So coming out stuck, we have, you know what? I was getting that these need a shuffle. Those aren't the ones that wanted to come out. I feel like some of you might be trying to jump the gun on something. Just be careful of that. All right, what's the light aspect here about this call to alignment? Whoop. What's the light aspect here? There's a lot going on because this deck like is acting a little funky. So what's the light? I feel like there's a lot. There's just a lot going on, and you're very aware of all the stuff that's going on, and that's why a lot wants to come out in the light, right? Yeah, even still. So that's one of my twin flame cards. So you could be dealing with that. So we're going to take, okay, yeah, there's two. We're going to take these. So a lot of normal energy. We have two normal energies here, but we have Watch Hog using held item inspection and thorough crunch. So Watch Hog is the police state Pokemon. I mean, there's no other way to put it, so I'm just going to say it how it is. And it's coming out stuck. So I do feel like, you know, the rise of the police state has really been on your mind, and that is why you're kind of not, you know, into the cycles that are going on, and you're really trying to figure out what you want to do long term. I feel like this kind of lit a fire under your ass is what I'm hearing, of, you know, kind of like how the establishment is doing what it's doing. With held item inspection, you know, for some people it can be very much, you know, someone trying to look into your phone and things like that. But what I'm getting is that you're really inspecting yourself with scrutiny of what kind of media and what kind of information that you are taking in, especially in regards to, you know, the rise of the police state and, you know, establishment takeovers and things like that. So I really do think that it has caused you to not be content with your norm anymore, and you're really trying to work for the future in the now. And thorough crunch. So with thorough crunch, I feel like you are trying to be as thorough as possible of how to move forward. You know, like I said, you're working backwards of where you want to be, like in the end of it all, right? And then trying to align yourself now, and you're really trying to be as thorough as possible. With crunch, I feel like, you know, talking a lot. So you might be talking to, you know, friends or, you know, lovers, plural perhaps, or family members. And I feel like that is how you're kind of recognizing that you don't necessarily align with some of the people that you used to, you know, run with or fuck with, whatever. And you're really trying to align yourself. It says, using luminescent matter, it makes its eyes and bodies glow and stuns attacking opponents. So be careful about, you know, of course, the media that you consume, because whenever it's luminescent eyes, I really feel, you know, it's like looking at a screen for too long where your eyes start to glow. But when it talks about, you know, making its eyes and bodies glow and stuns attacking opponents, again, I feel like there's this concept of beauty here, you know, of like what you look like, what your body looks like, what your face looks like, your eyes, and, you know, trying to like stun other people, right? And I feel like your concept of getting older and aging and things like that, especially in correlation with death, has really changed the way that you view beauty. And you're just kind of like, you know what, I'm not even really about that anymore. And especially if you do any sort of consistent cycles in terms of like a beauty regimen, I really feel like you're like, you know what, that's just not aligning with me anymore at this moment. And then we have Meowth using Turmoil Strike coming out stuck as well. So again, a lot of stuck energy in the light. So I feel like you're trying to align yourself, but right now you do feel a little bit stuck, right? Because you have been in whatever physical cycles these are for a very long time. Of course, you are aligning, right? But alignment is a process. So it's good that you have, you know, the spark that has started. you know, and you will be in full alignment, right? You are taking those steps. But, you know, like I said, we have turmoil strike coming out stuck here. So with that, how I felt that there was some sort of loss or some sort of like wake up call, as I mentioned, I do feel like there was some turmoil that has happened with you. And I'm very sorry to hear that, Libra. But you know, when shit hits the fan, you have dark night of the soul, you know, when things aren't going well, when turmoil strikes, it's because you're not in alignment and the universe is forcing you to get into alignment, right? That's just what happens. So just trust what is happening here, because it, you know, it's causing you to come into alignment. You know, we do have cat spirit here. Meowth is the money cat, so it could have to do with money situation, especially with the 8 of Pentacles here. You know, like I said, this is money cycles as well. It says, adores round objects. It wanders the streets on a nightly basis to look for drop loose change. So adoring round objects, you know, adoring money, and of course the wheel, so this cycle. So I feel like whatever cycle you were in, you know, you used to adore it, but not so much anymore. You're trying to figure it out. And, you know, you do adore the wheel of life. I really feel like you have this new appreciation for that. And wandering the streets on a nightly basis to look for drop loose change. Again, I do feel like there are some money situations that are shifting, right? Because they're not in alignment, but you will eventually be alignment when it comes to the money. What's the shadow here? What's the shadow here? Again, those are 2 normal types, so I do feel a lot of it has to do with just like normal type stuff here. In the shadow, we have Joltik using flop in reverse and fighting type. So in the shadow, we have flop in reverse. So this is solar plexus energy, right? And solar plexus energy, it has to do with Leo in the 5th house of this is who I am. This is what I stand for. It's what makes you you. It's where your personality is stored, right? Your individuality. And because it's flop in reverse, I feel like in the past, it kind of was a little floppy in your solar plexus. I don't mean to sound like insulting or anything like that, but I feel like it's kind of because of the people you were around and the stuff that you were into. It just was not aligning, right? And now it's not a flop anymore. Your solar plexus is rip-roaring and ready to go. It's not flopping, and it's really trying to become into alignment. I feel like you're returning to your authentic self a lot, right? And this is fighting type. So in the shadow, like even though all this turmoil and stuff is happening in the shadow, the psychic, the 5D, right? The parts that you can't see, that you are spiritually fighting for who you are. So that way your solar plexus is not flip-flopping around, right? You're done. Like you are rip-roaring ready to go. You know who you are and you want to be in alignment here. I really, really feel that. You're fighting. You're spiritually fighting to come into alignment here. It says, Joltik can be found clinging to other Pokemon. It's soaking up static electricity because it can't produce a charge on its own. So again, I feel like in the past you have clung to things, right, that aren't you, right? Your solar plexus is, you know, your personality. And I feel like you had these sorts of attachments of, you know, maybe to your money, maybe to your job, maybe to, you know, these people or the standard of beauty, or maybe even society itself, which is, you know, imploding, and the systems themselves, maybe you know, defended it, but now that the police are, you know, trying to take over, maybe you're like, fuck, I'm not clinging to that shit anymore. You know what I mean? And I feel like in the past, it was hard for you to produce your spark of your sense of self, of your solar plexus, maybe because, you know, whether it's the social structures or your beauty or your relationships or your work, whatever it is, that's how you defined yourself, right? And a lot of us do that. A lot of us do that. But now you're like, no, I'm not any of that. I'm not my money. I'm not my beauty. I'm not what I think about our social systems or the police state or whatever. You are fighting for you, like your pure essence, right? Your pure essence. And it goes back to this, the wheel of life of, you know, in that transitional realm, you know, when you pass into the next life of like, how is your spirit going to feel, you know, that whole energy cycle rather than anything in the physical world. I really do feel that discontent in the physical world. But again, this is so beautiful. You are fighting for the authentic you, detached from all the material nonsense, right? Because material is just a pure illusion anyway. Whew, Libra. Good for you. So we have the Sisterhood of the Rose in reverse again. So like beauty and devotion. You are really switching stuff up. Perhaps even changing who you think is your teacher, who is your mystic, who is your high priestess. Perhaps changing your own spirituality because of whatever, you know, wake-up call here that is now bringing you into alignment. Please show us more about what is happening with Libra, with the Sisterhood of the Rose in reverse. Like I said, I really feel like you are letting friends go. Yeah, Chariot in reverse. You don't want to move forward with these people anymore. You're done. You're done. Some of you, it could be a family situation. Maybe some of you are getting divorced. You don't want to be with your partner. You don't want to, you know, have the same family dynamics that you've had in the past. Maybe it's your own family, you know, like your parents and siblings rather than children that you have. You know, it might be different for everyone, but you really do not want to move forward. And I feel, you know, this is a Cancer card, so I feel like a lot of what just kept moving forward in Cancer season, it just became too much for you. And now in Leo season, which really sparks our solar plexus and our sacral chakra, right? And this is the fighting energy, but it's also the sacral chakra. And my sacral candle at the beginning in the cleansing ceremony was making a bunch of noise. So I do know that your sacral chakra is very, you know, active right now. And that is how we connect to others as well. So you just don't want to move forward anymore. You're tired of, you know, just going down the road just because you're in the car, right? And I feel like you've also recognized that maybe someone else was in the driver's seat rather than you, and you're just kind of done with that. Tell us more about this Chariot in reverse. Woo! All right, I'm going to go with this because this is the one that came out in the cleansing ceremony, the Six of Swords, coming out stuck, going to the wheel, because you weren't chasing that light. You weren't chasing that dream before. We have the Seven of... Okay. Yeah, so you weren't chasing that dream. You weren't going towards the light, but now you are. You've decided to chase your own light, right? Here's that yellow. You're going towards your own solar plexus chakra. You're leaving this darkness behind. You're going towards the light because you realize when someone else is driving, or if you're just sort of on autopilot, letting things continue as they are just because you're on that road, it really causes discontent, and you are really ready to leave this behind. I'm not going to read these, but we have the Seven of Swords in reverse and Judgment. So this is very much, you know, there might have been a legal situation going on for some of you, but what I'm getting is that you're really ready to file away the bullshit, and you've really made a pretty big judgment call here. And I feel like your ancestors are there. The Judgment card in this deck has to do with ancestor speaking. So your ancestors are really guiding you to get into alignment here, and so that you're just not on autopilot, because you very much are going towards the light now, your own light. What's the light energy here? Ghastly, fade out. Yeah, so there are connections that you're just letting fade out. You're just letting them fade out here. This is a psychic type, so it has to do with your third eye. So mentally, you're just like, all right, I'm out. You're just letting things naturally. This is a ghost type, so I feel like some people you're ghosting, some people you're letting them fade out, right? You're just letting it happen. You don't really care because you're just going towards the light. You're going towards your own light, and you're just kind of like, whatever. It says, born from gases, anyone would faint if engulfed by its gaseous body, which contains poison. Yeah, so I feel like you understand that the gas, right, the people that around you, you know, what they say, maybe they're into smoking a lot or something like that. Like, just like the gas that's around them, you realize that this shit is poison around you. That it's just poison, and you've really decided, like, all right, I'm done. And it might even be about, like, you know, the priestesses, the mystics, the teachers that maybe you once had faith in, right? That you were devoted to, this sisterhood of whatever this is, right? Which is just feminine energy. It doesn't necessarily have to be, like, female forms, but, like, you're just, like, you're recognizing the poison that is there, and you're like, all right, I'm fucking out. I'm fucking out. Good for you, Libra. What's the shadow here? What's the shadow? Okay, I feel, remember how I said that trainer grip, that trainer of the energy retrieval? Someone is trying to get your energy here, even though you are fading out or ghosting. I do feel like it's a Cancer because we have Cancerian energy and this is vice grip. So if it's someone who's not a Cancer, someone who has Cancer dominant in their natal chart, I feel like this is someone who has an emotional hold on you, right? A vice grip. Because this is water energy, it does have to do with the emotion. So I feel like in the shadow, again, you might not be aware of it because it's in the shadow, but someone is really trying to keep their emotional hold on you, right? And this person, even though they want to keep this emotional hold, they keep, you know, 2 legs in the water, 2 legs out, right? So they might be in and out typically, and you're like, all right, I don't want to move forward with you anymore anyway. And it likely because they were just trying to drag you down to the dark, right? Like here you are going to the light, which is letting things fade out and ghosting. And in the shadow is this crab that's just trying to grip you into the dark depths. It says, if it senses danger approaching, it cloaks itself with bubbles from its mouth so that it will look bigger. Again, it talks about cloaking. So I feel like you're recognizing that some people of like the sisterhood that you were in or whatever sort of group dynamic, that they cloaked themselves, right? That they were fake, they were wearing a false mask, like, and now with your third eye, you see very clearly what is going on, and you want to go to your own light because you know these bitches be fake. Bitches be fake as fuck. So, but it talks about cloaking themselves with bubbles from their mouth in order to look bigger. Ooh, I just heard a really weird noise in my ear. Yeah, they definitely are trying to get back into your life, that's for sure. You know, we have this poisonous sort of, you know, this mouth open with the poison, and this is blowing bubbles to make it look bigger. So I do feel like they're going to be trying to use words in order to seem like, you know, they're bigger or better than you or something like that, you know, and really try to emotionally manipulate you. Oof, Libra. Yeah, I'm very proud of you for getting out of this. This is not healthy behavior. I really try to reserve judgment, but whatever you're trying to get out of, it feels good to get out of it. All right, so now we are taking advice from Spirit. We have Rama, where are you being called to journey to? So you are being called to move, to journey somewhere. Let's see. Let's see here. Spirit, please give advice for Libra for the month of August here. 9 of Pentacles. Interesting. So this is like a returning to a home somewhere or waiting to return to home, right? The 9 of Pentacles is finishing a cycle within yourself, right? And the 10 of Pentacles is finishing it with somebody else. But this 9 of Pentacles, as you can see, you know, she has dinner ready, everything's good, and she's just waiting, you know, for her sweetie or her family to come to her, you know, so that they can complete the cycle with the 10 of Pentacles, which is have, you know, the family meal together. So I do feel like there could be some sort of, it's like you're waiting for home, right? Because like, yes, there's the house and there's all the stuff, right? But the home are the people who are coming. You know what I mean? So I feel like there is some sort of wait period where you are waiting to try to find out what home means. I'm going to ask for more. Tell me more about the 9 of Pentacles, please. Tell me more about the 9 of Pentacles. Queen of Swords going right to the Chariot and the 6 of Swords. So coming out stuck. So Queen of Swords could be contracts. I mean, not could be. It is contracts, right? So there could be some sort of waiting game where you're trying to figure out exactly, you know, number one, when are they coming home, and, you know, where you go from there. So there could be some sort of time-based thing because of some sort of contract. The Queen of Swords is the highest form of divine feminine energy when it comes to, you know, contract negotiation or legal matters and things like that. So I do feel like there is some sort of you know, negotiation that has to happen first. This is very much a deal-making process, but the Queen of Swords, like, she's fair, right? She's not going to try to fuck you over in a contract. Is she going to make sure that she gets hers? Of course, she's the Queen of Swords, but she's a fair person, right? She knows that the way to have good business, to, you know, to keep relationships positive, to keep the dialogue going, is to make sure that this contract is fair and equitable. So I do feel like there is some sort of waiting game because of some sort of legal situation or contract, or even just verbal agreements with somebody else is really why this cycle is, you know, the Nine of Pentacles being completed within you rather than with the other person involved here. So, you know, Spirit's saying just be patient, right? Like there is a waiting game, and just know that that is part of the journey when it comes to August, but you are being called to leave here. What's the light energy? What's the light energy? So we have fairy type and trainer using evolution incense. So it's because this other person needs to evolve a little bit here. So fairy type is crown chakra. So of course the external downloads that we get, you know, from the universe, but fairy type is also, you know, soulmate relationships, which can be, you know, positive or negative. This could be a lover, this could be a friend, a family member, coworker, whatever it is, but it's some sort of deal making, right? Some sort of contract, soul contract based relationship energy, and that's why it's not really moving forward. But trainer, as I mentioned, trainers always mean the other person. So the other person with evolution incense, they need to evolve here a little bit before things can truly move forward. So right now you are finishing that cycle in yourself, and you just have to try to be as patient as possible until the other person is able to evolve a little bit more, because they're attracting something. They're going to be going through an evolution, and incense is an item that brings like Pokemon to the incense. So they're attracting something, and that's why they're just not ready to move forward yet. What's the shadow here? Wow. So these are cards that wanted to come out at the beginning, right? And like I said, like they were there, but like those weren't the cards that were meant to come out, but they're meant to come out here in the shadow, coming out stuck, going right to this turmoil strike. We have Pikachu using Tail Whip and Electro Ball stuck, and Meowth using Exhausted Tackle. Okay, so, you know, we had the full moon here. We just had the full moon in Aquarius yesterday. That was August 3rd. And I feel like a lot of that energy is going to be influencing what is going on here. But we have, you know, Tail Whip. So whenever tail comes out, for me, it means something from the past coming. So I feel like there are things from the past that are kind of whipping you right now. And I do feel like it's whatever this turmoil strike that happened. And with Electric Ball, again, it's that solar plexus chakra of who you are. And I really feel like things in the past are kind of, you know, exhausting tackle, are exhausting you right now. So I do feel like now is a time to rest. You are being called to go on a journey, but right now you need to finish some sort of, you know, cycle within yourself before things can move forward, you know, contract wise or legal wise, or actually physically moving, or conversation wise, because this other person is evolving. So just, you know, understand about, you know, what your solar plexus is going through. Give yourself here. It says, its nature is to store up electricity. Yeah, this is a time to store up your electricity. This is a time to store up your solar plexus energy of who you truly are. It says, forests where nests of Pikachu live are dangerous since the trees are often so struck by lightning. Yeah, this is not a time to go wandering into the forest. Like I said, you are being called to go on a journey, but right now it's really time to rest and to store up your electricity, not to go into the forest because it's dangerous right now. Now is the time to stay in and, you know, make sure you have enough energy for what is to come here. Because, yeah, if you keep trying to go, it's going to exhaust you here with this Meowth. And again, you know, it's Meowth again. So it's the money cat. So it can exhaust your finances or, you know, anything physical, really. Again, it says adores around objects and wanders the streets on a nightly basis to look for drop loose change. So I don't feel like you need to be hunting for, you know, money or whatever the situation is, especially with the adoring round objects. You know, we have the moon here as the round object. So, you know, start working with the moon for this month. And then also I feel like whoever this person is, this soulmate that you're with, you do adore them very much. Right? You do adore the round object, but you just have to wait for them to evolve a little bit before things can really move forward here. All right. What can help Libra on their guided healing for the month of August? Okay, that's way too many, but we had message from afar in reverse. So I feel like Don't be reaching out to people who are far away. If someone, you know, especially whoever this is that's trying to pull you in, just ignore them. Like, wow, you have so many that want to come out. Tantric union. You know, that was tantric union in reverse. So if someone from far away is trying to, you know, have sex or have a tantric union, for those of you who need that message, it is, you know, Spirit is saying that is not suggested. But if someone far away is trying to reach out to you, I would just ghost them or let them fade out right now. I don't know if you heard that car, but someone just like put on their brakes really fast. So I feel like that's what you need to do. Just put on the brakes. Put on the brakes. I'm hearing this song by Planning to Rock. I think it's called The Brakes. I feel like there's a message there for you. We have transients in reverse. So the thing is like, this is about being in alignment, right? Of that like sort of transience, that transcendental sort of energy. But because it's in reverse, it's okay to not be in alignment, right? Things are very chaotic right now because you're not in alignment. But Spirit is doing all of this, you know, stuff so that you can become in alignment. So just remember to accept that it is part of the divine plan. You need to give yourself the time and the space, and, you know, gift yourself patience and kindness as you go through this journey. Okay, so try to be as patient and kind to yourself as you can. And again, I'm getting the message again of like washing your face, of making sure, you know, to treat your body with respect during this time, because I do feel a lot of heavy energy, especially with whatever turmoil has struck. And I feel like it kind of left you feeling fractured, but right, we fracture ourselves so that we can come back together. So just, you know, try to be as patient as possible, dear Libras. I'm not doing an extended this month. I took vacation. I was on vacation for about 10 days. So, I'm a little bit behind with the YouTube. I might do another segment later this month, but if not, then I will just do September's a little bit early with the extended, focusing on the twin flame soulmate connection again. But I really wanted to bring some light into everyone's life because the Cancer season videos were just very, very heavy. For any of those who need to revisit those, I will link them at the end here. But I really hope that you got what you needed, Libra. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. The more energy that you send to me, the more energy that I can send to you. If you are interested in a private reading, feel free to email me at SachiTheScorpioServices@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter or Instagram at Sachi the Scorpio. So, Libras, I'm sending you so much love, a big hug, and a kiss on your third eye. Mwah.